Good morning, welcome to another Piker's Progress video. It's a traditional cold frosty winter's morning. Been here about an hour just as it was getting light. Watched the water a little bit, seen a few fish topping. So we've picked this area. My old mate Mick's come down for a couple of days, just a couple of pegs up there. We'll have a full day on the dead baits today and see what we can do. How's the river? Well, it's been unfishable for a couple of weeks with the floods. It's dropped down. It's still a little high, but it's fishable now. So yeah, fingers crossed. It's been a really long, tough winter for me, as it has for a lot of you. I've been seeing on social media, a lot of people has been struggling. I've struggled. I've put the time in. And, oh, kettle's boiling. Cup of tea. Come back to you in a second. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, cup of tea to start the day. Yeah, so it's why I've not had a video out for a while, really. I've just not had anything to show you. There's no point in going fishing blanking and putting a film out of a blank. I'm not going to show you anything. I've probably done 8 sessions throughout the winter, January, February, when the river has allowed, between the floods and the storms and the branches and trees coming down. Oh, it's been awful. But I've probably been out, yeah, 8 times and fished hard as well. I fished off my barrow, which I do tend to do, moved around, covered a lot of the river, fishing from one hot spot to another and just keep constantly moving. It's a good way of keeping warm in winter as well. I've been out when it's dark. I've been tackling up in the dark just before dawn, fishing right the way through, and a couple of hours into dark on these sessions. They've been long, hard sessions, and they've been nothing. They've had the odd bite here and there. I had one day, we caught the river. It was about the same level as it is now, probably about a month ago. And I started getting a lot of little bleeps and little twitches, little tips just knocking, but nothing what you would call a proper run. I thought it would perhaps perch. So I scaled down what I was fishing, and I ended up fishing some really small roach dead baits, little tiny size 8 hooks. And one of those went away, and I managed to connect with it. It was actually a zander, which is they are here in the river, but they're not in any numbers. So I got a zander out, that was a nice bonus. Went £5.2. A little later that day, on the other rod, on a sardine, a more traditional pike size bait, had a nice scraper double, which put up a really nice fight. That was welcome. And then a little bit later on, the little knocks and twitches carried on throughout the day, and I ended up scaling both of my rods down onto these small dead baits, and I lost another one. Had a real malfunction, and I lost it just after I set the hooks on it. And then I did have another one out, and that went 8 on the £8 on the nail, and that was a PB zander for me. So yeah, I was really happy. That was a good day, but that was a distant memory now. But yeah, as I say, it's been blank after blank. The last time I was out, I connected one a few pegs down from here actually. I connected it and lost it very shortly after. I'm not sure I actually hooked it, if I'm honest. You know, it was one of them, but it did feel like a big girl. It was, I think, from memory, it was on a full herring, pair of size 2 treble. So that was serious tackle, really. It's about as big as I ever go. Yeah, what a shame that was. But yeah, let's see if we can wipe away this hoodoo of these blanks and get something on the bank to show you today. We're fishing dead baits. We've got a lot of dead baits with us. Got roach, smelt, mackerel, herring, sardine. So hopefully we'll have a bit of action soon, and I can bring you back and talk to you then. See you in a bit. keeping yourself warm in winter. Obviously get some decent clothes, but I always find that hot drink, hot food, that is the key. When you're dead bait fishing, we're generally sitting around, not doing a great deal of, not moving very much, not generating any heat. Some hot food, bit of soup, pot noodles, something like that, anything, and a nice hot cup of tea or coffee, chocolate, whatever you want. So I'm a stove person, I always have been. I do use gas. I use it when I'm on a boat, or I use it in spring, summer, just like the convenience of it. But the trouble with gas is it doesn't mix with dead bait fishing, because that's generally done in the winter. And you can see from the ground here, we've still got a touch of frost now, and it's 8:30, the sun's up, it's still cold. Gas will not vaporise when the temperature gets to 0. You get your canister of gas, shake it, you can hear the liquid inside it. We call it gas, but it's actually a liquid. It's liquid butane or propane mix, isopropane, something like that. But it is a liquid, but when you open the valve, you allow it to escape into the atmospheric pressure, and it vaporises on its own at atmospheric pressure. That's how it works. If the temperature's too cold, it won't vaporise and it won't burn. It takes ages to make a brew, really poor. So you need to look at something like this. This is a liquid fuel stove. It's got a fuel bottle, liquid. It'll burn unleaded petrol, Aspen 4, like a garden machinery fuel, very clean and burning. That's good. That's my choice actually, Aspen 4. Coleman, white gas, Napier, panel wipe, paraffin, anything liquid and volatile, it will burn. So it consists of a fuel bottle, and it's got a pump built into the lid. Obviously you just undo that, fill it with fuel, put it back. So we fill it up to about there. This takes just over half a litre. That's 591 mil, so just over half a litre. Leave this little air gap here, and when we're pumping, there's a one-way valve at the bottom of the pump, and that just increases that air pressure. Compressed air builds up, you get about 30 pumps, and when you open the valve, it's the air pressure that pushes the fuel up the pipe to the burner head. So let's connect the two. This is the burner head. That just goes in there, and a little securing clip, and that's it. Now the trouble with liquid fuel stoves like this, you've got to prime them. You can't just open the valve and light it like you would do a gas one. When I say prime it, this liquid, it needs to turn into a gas before we can use it. When it turns into a gas, when it vaporises, that's when it releases its energy to us. So you see the fuel pipe, it comes down and comes around in this little curly shape here and goes back underneath, and then it points up towards the burner. And the idea of that is that the flame, once it's lit, will be heating this tube and the fuel inside it, and it will heat it to a stage where it turns into a gas. Releases its energy, we can burn it, but we've got to get it there first. We've got to heat this up. So how do we do that? You sit, I'll get you on a close-up. There's a close-up of the stove, and you can see it has this little dish here. This is the priming dish. You can see the nozzle just there, and I'm going to open the valve, and you'll see it, the fuel starts squirting up there. And what we want to do, we want to fill this dish full of fuel. So there you can see the fuel's coming out. It's the air pressure just pushing the fuel out. And that's it. I'll turn the valve off. I'll bring you back. So that dish is full of liquid fuel now. What I'm going to do now is just light it. You see this orange flame, it indicates that the fuel's not burning properly. When it gets to that temperature where it will turn to a gas, it will burn blue, just like you're cooking on gas at home. So it takes a minute, but we're going to let all that fuel burn away, but all of this flame, it's heating that priming tube, heating the fuel within it. We're going to turn it to a gas, and that's when we can cook. Now I say this takes 600 ml, just over half a litre. That will make me a dozen brews and a bit of cooking as well. Absolutely no problem for all day, for 2 people. I've got a spare one of these fuel bottles as well, which if we're doing a couple of days, I'll bring it as a spare. So this is an expedition kind of standard stove. They're not cheap, cost about £100, but they are used all over the world, used in the polar regions, used in high altitude mountaineering. So the fuel had just gone, so I just caught the valve there just before that flame went out. Opened the valve and you can see now we've got a lovely blue flame for cooking them. It won't take a minute, and the outside of that burner head will be glowing red. It gets so hot. They're fantastic stoves, really are. Belts out so much heat. So yeah, I've got some burgers and some nice brioche buns. So later on we're going to have a bit of a fry up and have a burger. Got pot noodle, nice curry flavour one. If I want something this afternoon before I go home, but for now we're just going to have a cup of coffee. Well, what can I say? It's going to look like another blank. Oh, I've lost count how many blanks that is this year, really have. Not a sign, not a bleep, not a touch, not a sniff. Mix been the same. There was another chap came, got his car in between us and got out his car. I think he's probably done about 3 hours, he's just gone now. Again, 2 rods fishing for the pike, not a sniff, not a snifter. Terrible. Got 1 day left to bring it back tomorrow. Hello train. I've been a train for about 3 hours, and as soon as I start recording, there we go. But yeah, I've got about an hour left, so I'm gonna have a cup of coffee, get all the camera batteries on charge, save a bit of time when I get home tonight. Lure fishing tomorrow. Gonna cover a lot of ground. Every honey pot that I know on this river I'm going to be in tomorrow. I'm going to be whipping the water to a froth, desperate to get something. We've got to get something to finish this river season off, we really have. It's been awful. Worst winter I can remember. I feel like I'm in a relegation battle and it's the last game of the season. But there we go, that's fishing. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Unless something happens in the last hour, I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, so it's the next day and we're back on the lures today. I've not been out on the lures since about November and it's the last week of the season now in March. So yeah, when was the last time I was out on lures? It was when I reviewed the 45-pound jerk rod. So we're going to give that another go today. So the tactics today are, I like the big lures as you know, so I'm going to be on the Berts, Big Dippers, Savage Gear, Hard Eels, all of the big boys coming out, and got a few wild cards in there that might come into play as well. I'm searching out all the little hidey holes that I know on this river now, all the slack water, deep holes, all the gullies, the features. So what's the tactic for you, mate? I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep throwing these big lures, and it's only a matter of time before I land one directly on a pike, stun it, and I can scoop it with my net. Because I had a nightmare last night. I got kicked off YouTube because I don't catch any fish. So
yeah, definitely.
What's it going to be?
I think lures, they're going to have to be bright ones. I think there's quite a bit of colour still in the water.
Yes.
Definitely. So I think some nice bright light ones is going to be the order of the day.
Bright ones.
I'm feeling confident.
Yeah, maybe that moving bait, I'll get them. They're certainly not interested in live bait. Well, I'm not going to keep going on about it. Let's put it to bed. Sound quality is not going to be spot on today. Travelling very light. I've just got the one camera, no microphones, limited number of batteries, no tripod. So I'm going to do my best. We'll see if we can get you something. Come back to you in a little bit. It's a devastation of the recent floods. Oh. That little sign there, that's come from about 4 or 5 miles upstream. Look at it. Wow, we have had some water, that's for sure. Okay, let's crack on, let's do this, let's get rid of this hoodoo blank. I think Mick's got one. That's fantastic. shouting about something. Oh yeah, it looks like he's going for those landing nets. We've got one, fantastic. Oh, nice one, Mick. That's not bad going, is it? The first 15 minutes, you can go home now. Just me to go. This piker has not made very good progress recently. Blank over. I don't know, £4 or £5. Only just hooked. I was going to chin it out, but it got itself snagged right at my feet. Does it count? Well, I took the trace, so. But no, we're not going to count that. We've got to get one out for the camera. Nick's in as well, so can't see him. See what Mick's got. There you go. Yeah, that's a lovely fish, that.
Beauty, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty good condition. Bit of a split there, but yeah, I'll pass it here. I'll hold it. I'll hold it. There we go.
I think she's ready, do you?
Oh yeah, she's ready.
There she goes.
Beautiful! Hold on, mate. You got one?
Yeah, nice one.
Here's a nice one. your language, please. Children watching.
Oh, sorry. Are you filming this?
Yes, I am.
You don't want to come in this one.
Yeah, find the flow a little bit as well, isn't it?
This is going to be one for your take there.
Close, I think.
Close to the 20.
It's going to be close. There's a lot of spawning marks on its belly. Thank you very much. No messing about. Straight. Yeah, it's going to have to transfer to mine because I know that how heavy mine is. They're probably the same, but you know.
Yeah, yours is dry as well.
It's the rubber anyway. They don't hold it. Head this way if you can. Yeah, 97 centimetres. There you go, mate. Just get her head out. There you go. There she goes.
There she goes.
There she is. Oh, finally. Slap that. Took a lot out of me hand. Nice fish as well. I broke the blank!
Hey!
There we go. Finally. Broke that blank. Let's get some photographs. Right, let's see where he puts this, so I know which side to go, and I'll put one right at his feet. Oh, the cheeky bastard, he's thought the same as me. Do you think they'll kiss when they're passing each other? Go back to the car and have a cup of tea. Shall we go back and have a cup of tea? Yeah, a cup of tea time. Oh, cup of tea, I've been ready for that. So that's it, end of a couple of days. That's what we get up to. Thought it was going to be another blank. Yesterday that was hard. Yesterday it was cold and it was hard, but it came good today. It came good. I've broken that blank, that long spell that I've been talking about during this video. I didn't think it was going to happen. I had that one jump out of my feet after the lure. I think it was the same fish that hooked a few minutes later, unhooked itself on the bankside vegetation. Thought, oh no, it's not going to happen. I'm going to blank again. I couldn't believe the run I've been on. But yeah, pulled one out at the end. Scrape a double, nice condition fish, nice fight, good fish. Yeah,
about 13 pounds, isn't it?
Yeah, just over 12.
Just over 12, is it?
Yeah, 12.2, I think, 12.1, 12.2. Yeah, how many did you get? Was it 6?
7.
7, wasn't it, in the end? Yeah, yeah.
7.
Yeah, I got a bonus one right at the end.
7 altogether, and a personal best.
The lure that did it?
So that's it. Absolutely.
What's that? Let's see.
It's a roach jerkster.
Yeah, Savage Gear jerkster.
Yeah.
11.5 centimetre. These are pretty good lures. I've got some of these. Inexcusable why I didn't have any with me today, but I didn't. But there we go.
Show them the teeth, Mark. Show them the teeth.
Oh yeah.
All over that. Yeah.
It's seen some action. It certainly has. So yeah, 7 fish on that today, including mixed first ever 21 pound 2 PB. Congratulations, mate. We've got boxes full of lures that cost 20, 25 pound, 30 pound. Little cheap Savage Gear jerkster. Just bear that in mind. Little chamber in there that'll come out. You can put a ball bearing in there. It'll give you a rattle, like a rattling coloured water.
Works, yeah. Never change this lure all day long.
All day long, yeah.
All day long. It's been the only
Carried
one
that
I've
back
used.
for nothing.
I have, yeah. Literally, I have.
Just had a pair of pliers in your pocket, that's all you needed, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's it then, guys. It's come to the time of year where we've got to renew all of our memberships. So we're going to have to get the overtime in and keep on the wife's good side. What we got until June, till the river season starts again, we're probably going to get out and do a little bit more dead baiting. A couple of gravel pits, perhaps in a month or so when it warms up that little bit and get the roach feeding. If we can catch some roach, do live baiting. The club that hold this gravel pit that we fish do allow live baiting, so hopefully we'll get a bit of that done.
Yeah.
If we can get a day off work coinciding with a big blow, we'll get out and do some drifter fishing. That's exciting, isn't it? I like drifter fishing. And in about 6 weeks time we're going to be into April, middle of April. The lily pads will start hitting the surface of the ponds. Frogs and the frogs. That's enjoyable. Yeah, that's great fishing. That.
that is absolutely the ultimate.
It is. Yeah, great fun. So please subscribe and click the notification bell so you'll get a notification whenever I upload a new video. I would like to get more videos out, but it's time and I just can't catch anything. Well, I've not been able to. I'm not one for uploading videos where you don't see any fish. It's simple as that. So stay safe, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.